All right, shalom to elect Israel, to the hope elect Israel, you Hebrew Israelites, you so-called Negro, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, Haitians, foreign Israelites, like the other nations, scattered across four corners of the earth. Want to give all praise to Barak shy, Barak was shy. Got to give all praises to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Qadash. Name of the Heavenly Father, everybody knows calls God his true name in the ancient Hebrew, which means in the name of Yahawashi is the Holy One of Israel. Everybody ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, so-called Negro, who was slain at the foundation of the earth for the salvation of the elect of Israel. He got to the wickedness like America, Babylon 8. Come back to the loins of the elect after the destruction. The Rawchaa Qadash. It's the Holy Spirit that's been bestowed upon the men. The Heavenly Father gave us on the God, Son, of the Word to complete this work. So we always want to give double honors to those and apostles of the great millstone. Let us all to the truth. Been ordained by the Lord to teach the flock how to live, repent, pray, fast, show for the Lord's righteousness and mercy, judgment, forgiveness and wrath to also part of the elect to the hopeful elect. Lord willing, we part of that number. Lord willing us be able to find us and fear in the name of the Lord. Striving to show forth the Lord's righteousness every day to the best of their abilities. His judgment always comes to light. Zephaniah 3:5. It is not slack. 2 Peter 3:9 until reading 2 chapter 5, verse 42. Shalom, I used to say believers out there tuning in here on after Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Qadash, Atham. You know, we just getting out of the, the last Shabbat, going into the new moon. And, just makes me want to just go with a, a simple, something simple. And, we may be going to other topics. We'll see what the title is. When the heathen go into captivity, the celebration begins. And, our type of celebration is not as a celebration of how you would think it is. Like, our celebration is true justice being exalted in the earth. That's when it begins, is when everybody else is put under Yahawah's feet, under his order. That's when we really get to enjoy the work of our hands if we're of the elect. We're going to start right there, and then we're going to read this other one. Hold on. Let me get to it. Hold on. That's got to be typed a little different. Yep. Yep. There it is. That's all I was looking for. This is Isaiah. We're gonna start here first. This is Isaiah chapter 65, verse 22, and I brought it up before. And it reads, "They shall not build and another inhabit." Right? That's the beginning of that celebration for Israel, starting with the elect. You know, we us as Jake, being here in America, Babylon the Great, we have built everything, and everybody else is inhabiting it. Everybody else is working off is uh, living off the fruit of our labor. Everybody else on the planet, man. You know, everybody else is they and that's the thing. That's the thing about a lot of people. A lot of people don't understand. Um, a lot of people don't understand that, like what it means to really misuse the prophets. What does it mean to misuse the prophets? What does it mean to um, take what we built and then inhabit it? Because that's what a lot of people are doing right now. That's why Apostle Dahar said this is going to be the year of apostates, which are people basically who denounce the truth. You're going to have sellouts because you have a lot of people who uh, they're trying to understand the scriptures right now, and what they don't understand, they come and ask us, and then we tell them, and then they take it, and then they flip it, and they switch it around and try to fit it in their own narrative. That's misusing the prophets. That's misusing the men of the Lord. You know, and that's what they're doing right now. Everybody's trying to inhabit off of the labor of the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Ultimately, Yahawah, Yahawashi. They're trying to inhabit that. They're trying to take that and be like, oh well, we can make our own remix to it and still make something out of it. What's wrong with that? You know. So this is a celebration that we're headed into. They shall not plant and another eat. Right. You're not gonna do no more work, and y'all motherfuckers get to just do whatever the fuck y'all want with it. We be busting our fucking ass doing all types of shit, and y'all niggas out here ain't done shit. You know what I mean? And we're just, I'm saying that spiritually when it comes to uh, these these theological so-called prophets that we see in the earth, man. You ain't done nothing. You're eating off of it. You're going out there and you're making money and shit, got followers. You need to plant that, man. You're not even giving no reverence to our apostles. The Lord's gonna kill your ass. For as the days of a tree are as the days of my people, which means that we're not gonna be dying. We're not. That's where we're coming from. You know, we're gonna be we're gonna be well aged in spirit, and we're not gonna die anymore. The celebration begins when everybody out here who thinks that we're playing, that's not an Israelite, goes into slavery. So as the days of my people and mine elect, so they talk, they try to act like we don't talk about the elect in the Old Testament, but it's there. The elect is in the Old Testament too. And mine elect shall enjoy the work of their hands, right? Because basically, if you're the elect, then you helped. If you're one of those men, you helped the Lord build everything that's here. You know, that's why, if you're one of these men, you had to be subject under everybody. You had to be under everybody at least at one point in your life, especially in these days. In these days, you had to be at the end. where the first shall come last shall come first, right? So you got to be last to even have the chance to be first. And that's where people are going to lose, man. That's why people are losing right now. You got all these people trying to be first right now, and you're fucking losing because you're not fitting the script of the elect. You want to be the elect, that means what? You got to be last right now. Because that's the prophecy. Last shall be first. But you got these people like, I got to be last. And this nigga's Fortune 500 company billionaire. Thinking you not last. Doesn't sound right. So I said riches trope the word. That's why Lord be whooping our ass so we don't have a lot of shit. And even us that do have things between poverty and riches, we have to strive to keep that level. Like we don't just get to keep that and not do nothing. We be out here grinding a lot more than what a lot of y'all know. It's Revelation 13:10. He that leaped into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here's the patience and the faith of the saints. This is what we talk about all the time. This is what the saints think about, man. This is what we think about. Not having these people eat off of us, everything we do. This is second Esdras, chapter 5. Actually, I want to go to Wisdom of Solomon 5. And it reads, Wisdom of Solomon 5, verse 1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him and made no account of his labors. See? So now that's how you see how this matches up even with the Old Testament, because it talked about how it's a whole bunch of people who we planted stuff and we did stuff, and then everybody else is eating off that shit. And that's how the majority of even that's why I said don't cast your pearls on the swine, which is basically don't teach these plantation Christianity so-called black believers of the church, because they're gonna take it and they're gonna twist it, and they're gonna try to basically make a false doctrine out of it and be like, well, this is really what it means. That's what they do in their mind. Their eyes are shut to this day. The Lord's not gonna let them see, man. So after you warn them, because you gotta test the spirits. After you warn them, that's it. You warn them a couple times. Maybe the spirit, because the Lord ain't just like treat us like robots. Maybe He puts a spirit on you to give somebody a couple chances or whatever. But you got to be able to discern when it's like when somebody's gone, they're gone. You can't bring them back, bro. You gotta just continue to work elsewhere. So it says, and it says, verse 2: when they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear, and shall be amazed at the strangeness of His salvation, so far beyond all that they look for. There's people around you, Jake, that are literally um, dreaming of your downfall. They think of all the ways of us not making it, man. That's why it's going to be like, damn, if we make it, because we really were the last people they thought they were going to make it, man. For real. And that's Jake's with money and without money. They thought it was like all y'all is retarded. That's how Esau thinks about us. That's how he thinks about us, man. He thinks that none of us are going to make it, even the wisest of us. He's like, y'all are not going to make it. And he ain't going to believe it, man. When he starts seeing us floating in the air and putting his people in slavery, man. He's not going to believe it. And that's when the celebration is going to begin. You know, up in space, in the space stations, when Michael the Archangel goes up there with the angels and whoops they fucking ass, man. It's gonna be just the beginning. Our celebration is not gonna be like the world's. It's not gonna be balloons and confetti and all this bullshit. It's gonna be motherfuckers getting whipped. It's gonna be motherfuckers getting dealt with. Okay? It's gonna be very, very serious. This is not gonna be a fucking game. This is Wisdom of Psalm chapter 5, verse 3. And they repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit shall say within themselves, this was he, right? Because it was one of these men. This was he. And they're gonna be thinking that when whoever that Jake is, when they're thinking that, it's got him in a fucking chokehold in every way imaginable. We're not just talking about literally, like, got you in a chokehold. We talking about, man, that slavery. Go back and look at what they did to so-called Negro, Latinos, Native Americans, and slavery, and times that by 2. That's what you're dealing with, bro. That's what we're dealing with. They're gonna be terrified. Okay, it's gonna be like, damn, this was he, and we had sometimes in derision. See, that's why I said sometimes, because they know how strong we are as Jake. Like, you ain't gonna always just have us in derision, which is confusion. You're not gonna always have us like they said sometimes, because that's how strong of a people we are. The best of us, the hopeful elect. You're not gonna always have us in derision. Like, you might get us every now and then, but we're gonna stick the course. We're gonna wake up. You know, a proverb and a reproach, right? They thought we was a joke, man. They thought it was a game. Verse 4, we fools account of his life madness and his end to be without honor. That's how they think about us, Jake. That's how they think about us. This is what the Lord said about us. We're going to go here. We're going to go here. This is a good one. Hold up. This is Zephaniah 3:19. We're going to go into a word. Trying not to make this too long. Probably do some and close out. I got some articles I want to go into, but I brought this out. We can do that coming up soon if we, if we're alive. This is Zephaniah 3:19. Behold, at that time I will undo all that afflict thee. This is part of how is he going to undo them? He's going to put them in captivity. I will save her that halteth and gather her that was driven out. How do we know this is talking about Israel as the woman? We'll pull it up just for edification's sake. Revelation 12. Hey, hold up. This computer fast as hell. Damn. Hold on. Damn, that shit popped up right there. Okay. Yep, there we go. Okay. We're going for those who don't know, for edification's sake. This is how you know that the Old Testament matched with the New Testament. See, it says the woman, Israel. There it is at the top. Okay? That's what it's talking about. It's talking about us as a nation. Okay? That's why when you come over here, you're looking in Zephaniah 3. It says, I will save her that halteth, right? And gather her that was driven out. That word halteth. Let's look at that up real quick. Because my computer actually runs like we're in 2025 now. We're going to look at that word, halteth. What does it say?
Strong's H, 6760. Salah. Salah.
Right? To be limp, be lame, to be limp, to halt, to limp, as if one-sided. Right? And that's how we are. We're one-sided. Like we can't get the law right. We can't get it right. We're over here on this side where we're subject to death. It's talking about Israel. Just thought I'd look it up. And gather her that was driven out, right? The diaspora, the scattering. Okay, we were scattered. We were driven out. We were put out here among the heathen. And I will get them praise and fame everywhere they have been put to shame. Right? We're going to look at that word fame. What is fame? What kind of fame is the Lord going to give us? Let me find it. That's not the word. It's the word fame. Yeah, praise and fame. Damn, it came up with something else. Yep. Go to the root word real quick. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So like I said, we'll read the because I want to read it in the New Testament too. And then we'll close out. I want to make a couple points. So we're going to go into that word fame in the Assyrian Hebrew first.
Strong's H, 8034. Shame. Shame.
Right? It sounds almost like shame. It's actually fame, reputation, fame, glory. The name as designation of the Most High, memorial, monument, authority. We're going to go to the root word. I'm going back to basically, ancient, almost the ancient Hebrew, Arabic Hebrew.
Strong's H, 7760. Soon. Soon. And second entry, seem. Seem.
Right? To set, ordain. So ordain means no free will. So you can't be given fame without it being predestinated. It can't be fame unless it was appointed to you. That's why it says establish, found, appoint, constitute, right? Fix, to set, right? A station, transform into, bring to pass, to set or make for a sign, it's yeah, this is where I was trying to do. Yeah, this is where I was looking for. We don't got to go into there now. It says to put, set, lay, put or lay upon, lay violent hands on. That's how we're going to have fame. We're going to have fame by whooping your motherfucking ass. That's how we're going to get fame. Okay? That's how we're going to get set. Okay? by, if you're a heathen, beating your motherfucking ass for 1,000 years. And all of y'all that's not Esau, you get let off the hook. Esau, you're through. We're going to get rid of you. That's how we're going to be famous. It's plain. Says to lay violent hands on. That's what he's setting up. For us to jack your ass up if we're those men. So, just wanted to point that out. Thought I had to go look up in the New Testament, but it's there in the Old Testament. We might go look it up later. We do another lesson. Shalom to elect Israel, hope elect Israel, Hebrew Israelites, so-called Negro, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, Haitians, foreign descendants, like the other nations, scat across 4 corners of the earth, want to give all praise to Barak, Yahawah. Double honors to those impossible the great millstone, let us all to this truth. Peace and blessings to the elect. Kwame Sarala, Wa Ababa, Shalom.